news tonight, cold temperatures posing risks for frozen pipes. What experts say you should do to avoid costly damage. Plus, a more than century-old building with a long history is getting a facelift. What the new owners are planning for the space. But first, temperatures did not make it above freezing Friday, and it looks like it'll be staying this way for the weekend. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brittany Schaefer. Let's send it right over to meteorologist Tim Kelly for a quick look at our local forecast.
Cold today, but it could be worse. Snowstorm, another one missing us to the south. St. Louis looks like thunder snow. That can accumulate 2 inches an hour, maybe a foot of snow in St. Louis. For us, we barely made 20 degrees today at the airport. It only got to about 21 for a high temperature. Downtown, we got to about 24, 25. There's a little bit of a colder front coming in. Tonight's going to be a little colder than last night, but we're going to gradually lose the wind. Waxing crescent moon in the sky. Here's the temperature going down hour by hour. Now, tomorrow morning, it's a case where the hills might not be that much colder than the lower elevations. You see to the north around Keene, around the Massachusetts-New Hampshire border, 5 to 10 degrees. I'd call it about 10 degrees for a low temperature tonight. Less windy tomorrow, just about the same temperature, maybe a degree or two higher than today. Going for 20 to 25, plenty of sunshine, and it doesn't really change. Patriots game Sunday, similar, cold, blue sky for the most part, intervals of clouds. We'll track that storm to the south and a 10-day forecast in a few minutes.
And with cold temperatures brings issues with plumbing. Frozen pipes are common when the temperatures dip below freezing for multiple days in a row, and one local plumber expects it to be a busy weekend. Our Rosalind Flaherty spoke to him today. She joins us live now with more. Rosalind?
Brittany, he expects a lot of calls from people saying their pipes broke. He says there are steps people can take to prevent the nightmare. Temperatures get colder in central Massachusetts, so do the pipes inside your home. And if they break, it could cost thousands of dollars to fix.
If you have a wall in your house with no insulation and pipes run through it, then the pipe can freeze if wind hits a pipe.
David Shea of Garabedian Plumbing and Heating says the actual pipe freezing is not usually an issue. It's after the pipe thaws when homeowners can see problems.
When a pipe freezes, it exerts 1,700 pounds of pressure on the wall of the pipe, and it will cause them to split.
Shea says during a cold snap, they respond to about 80 calls a day. He says there are ways to prevent the nightmare, like leaving your water dripping at night and opening the cabinets underneath the kitchen sink.
Get the heat from the rest of the room into that space. As long as the water's moving, it can't freeze.
He says if you do run into an emergency, it's important to turn the water off and get professional help.
If you live in Worcester, you have a water meter. The shutoff for your house is right next to your water meter. So if we have a cold weather like this, you should just take a walk down the cellar stairs and just familiarize yourself where that valve is.
He also says you can use a hairdryer to unfreeze pipes, never use an open flame. Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
An oil service truck jumps the curb in Worcester, crashing into a utility pole. Worcester Police and National Grid were on scene. The crash happened around 12:30 Friday at the intersection of Holden Street and North Worcester Avenue. Still no word yet on any injuries. And Worcester police responding to an armed robbery on Millbury Street this morning. The suspect was caught moments later, but it was the store's manager who helped make the arrest. Our Chandler Walsh spoke to him today. She joins us live now from the police station. Chandler?
Brittany, it was quick timing for the store's manager. He says he got in just after his store was robbed and was still able to spot the suspect and pursue him. And heard his Millbury Street store was robbed. He took action, chasing after the suspect.
I had walked in the door and they had told me that the store had just got robbed and that the guy took off running. And I looked out that door and then came out this side and chased him down the street.
Fanyon says the alleged robber pretended to be armed to intimidate his employees at Advanced Auto Parts. The suspect got away with more than $400 before police officers caught him nearby.
It didn't matter if it was $1, it still would have reacted the same way.
One of Fanyon's employees flagged down an animal control officer while he followed the man. Worcester police say the suspect refused to show his hands but did not have a weapon. Fanyon is proud of how his employees handled the situation.
Said he was armed and wanted to, he tricked them, but they did the right thing. It doesn't matter if he did or didn't. They gave up the money, but all said and done, when he got arrested, he didn't have a firearm.
Bonnie Curbs was in the store hours later and said she could tell something had happened. She says it makes her worried to be in the area with her children, but was impressed with the manager's reaction.
Props to him. I give him full credit for putting his own life in jeopardy for his store.
Fanyan says he's happy he was able to help police quickly catch the suspect. He says he did what he did to protect his business.
He stole my store's money. It's my business, so wanted to collect my money.
Suspect Eric Rivera was charged with armed robbery and resisting arrest. The Worcester man was arraigned today and is being held without bail. Live in Worcester, Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
It's No Pay Friday for hundreds of thousands of federal workers as the government shutdown enters its 21st day. Today marks the first day many federal workers did not get a paycheck. President Donald Trump says while he has the right to declare a national emergency in order to build a wall, he's not going to do it so fast. Doing so would pull from funds set aside for recovery efforts in places like Puerto Rico. Holy Cross Assistant Professor of Political Science Alex Hindman says both parties need to come together on an agreement.
In the Senate that the president shut down, and there are efforts among freshman Democrats, newly elected freshman Democrats, that are starting to push on their party to hopefully get some political movement and get people to actually start sitting down and working it out.
Tomorrow, this shutdown will make history as the country's longest ever. The owners of a well-known Princeton shop are expanding their business. The women have teamed up with the state to give a 30-year vacant building a facelift. It was one of the first designed for State Park Service, and now the 115-year-old space will be restored for a new purpose. Our Olivia Lemon joins us live now with the details. Olivia?
Brittany, the building is owned by the Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation, and through their historic curatorship program, the building will have new purpose free of rent for the owners of the Mountainside Market.
Vacant for more than 3 decades, small business owners are breathing new life into a historic building in Princeton.
We feel that creating this location on the side of the mountain is really going to foster people's enjoyment of the outdoors and Mount Wachusett, but also bringing our community together in a beautiful location.
Catherine Huck and Robin Springfield own Mountainside Market near the center of town and are opening a new location on Mountain Road. The former reservation superintendent's house has been empty for 30 years, and together the two plan to give it a new purpose.
The location really is allowing us to expand and do interesting other things that are more community-based, and so that's really going to be more of our focus.
Built in 1901, it's the oldest building in the state park.
I grew up in Princeton, so I've only seen it in its deteriorated state, so to see it coming together and how beautiful it's going to be is wonderful.
The Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation owns the building and is leasing it to Mountainside Market through their historic curatorship program.
The deal that the program sets up is we have the ability to be able to trade the costs of the rehabilitation, the maintenance, management, the operation of the property. That is all credited towards that lease amount.
DCR says they made several attempts in the past to lease the building and are happy a local business will be taking over.
Their vision of kind of turning this into a specialty market, a cafe, gathering center for the community really kind of merged perfectly with what we were hoping would happen there.
Both Huck and Springfield say they look forward to the future of their business's expansion.
Honestly, it's a dream come true for both of us.
And they plan to finish construction by the end of March and hope to open by late spring or early summer. Olivia Lemon, Worcester News Tonight.
The Girl Scouts of Central and Western Massachusetts Cookie Program has officially launched, and community partners involved say the program teaches much more than just selling cookies. Chief Communications Officer at Fallon Health, Christine Cassidy, is a former Girl Scout. She says the Cookie Program helped her learn valuable skills applicable to her career today. She says the organization teaches girls at a young age about female empowerment and leadership.
It's really so much more than just selling cookies. I think it has really done certainly did for me growing up, and I think continue to do for a lot of young girls, is really develop, I think, a foundation about some really essential skill building, money management, goal setting, people skills, I think, are a big part of it as well, and teamwork.
Cassidy says Fallon's mission is to keep the community healthy and believes their partnership with the Girl Scouts is a perfect fit. Wachusett Mountain and the governor's office are celebrating National Learn to Ski and Snowboard Day. Governor Baker declared January Learn to Ski and Snowboard Month in 2017. The month offers deals for beginners at the state's 12 alpine ski areas. At Wachusett Mountain, trainers taught more than 250 people on the slopes. The price for a lesson usually cost $99, but it was cut to $30 on Friday.
Over 350 ski instructors ready to teach you. Getting people out of the house in the wintertime is essential.
Tourism has become a major part of the economy here in Massachusetts, especially here in the north part of Worcester County. It's always good to get out and be active and enjoy sport, especially with your family.
And Massachusetts isn't alone. More than 30 states across the nation have special deals to get beginners on the mountain. The Worcester Regional Transit Authority has 52 buses in its fleet, and Friday they showed off one with a unique look. Massachusetts College and Art Design student Eunice Stivers painted this bus's design during her senior year at Doherty High School. She won an art competition with the WRTA and Powwow Worcester. The WRTA had a printing company spend a full day wrapping the bus in Stivers' design.
Didn't have any particular ideas while I was working on it. I just wanted to paint something that I felt like represented what I liked doing and what I thought would be fun to see on a bus.
We want to make sure that students see their city being reflected through their eyes. So the more projects like this we can do, I think the more engaged and the more connected students will feel with the Worcester community.
And the bus will operate on general schedule, traveling throughout Worcester and surrounding towns. Stiver also received a key to the city for her work.